And after studying the various recommendations of various committees, okay, the parliament amended the constitution, that is through 73rd amendment act of 1992. Yeah, 73rd amendment act of 1992. It inserted a new part called part 9, which is deals with panchayats. That is, now the Panchayat is recognized by the constitution itself. That is, now the Panchayat Raj is established based on the provisions of constitution. And these provisions are inserted to the constitution by 73rd Amendment Act of 1992. Okay, and it also add a new schedule called Schedule 11 to the constitution. See, we learned that the Schedule 9, 10, 11, 12 was added through various amendment acts. So 11th schedule was added through 73rd Amendment Act, and it consists of 29 functional items to panchayats. So in that 29 items, the panchayat has some powers. So it gives 29 functional items to panchayats. Okay, see, by doing so, by amending this provision, it gives a practical shape to Article 40 of the Constitution, that is DPSP. So what is Article 40? To organize village panchayats. Article 40 says that to organize village panchayat and to give some powers to that village panchayats. Now by implementing or by amending this Constitution to 73rd Amendment Act, it gives some legal value or constitutional value to Article 40. Now it is enforceable. Why? It is mentioned in the Constitution. It is given a legal value. Now it is made a justiciable part. Okay. And now let's go through some of the provisions of 73rd Amendment Act. Okay. The 73rd Amendment Act provides for establishing a Gram Sabha. See, Gram Sabha consists of all the registered voters of that panchayat. Okay, and what are all the powers the Gram Sabha have or Gram Sabha need is determined by the concerned state legislatures. That means the state legislatures can give some kind of powers to the concerned Gram Sabha, or what all the functions has to be given to Gram Sabha, or what all the performance or what all the duties has to be given to Gram Sabha is determined by the concerned state legislature. Okay, and all the registered voters of the panchayat are can be members of that concerned Gram Sabha. Okay, and the 73rd Amendment Act provides for a three-tier system of Panchayati Raj at village level, intermediate level, and district level. Okay, so three-tier system of Panchayat Raj is established under the provision of 73rd Amendment Act. But see that there can be some states whose population is less than 20 lakh. Okay, in that states, intermediate level is not necessary, not mandatory. Usually the constitution provides for three-tier system of Panchayat Raj system, that is at village level, at intermediate level, and at district level. But if states which have less than 20 lakhs of population, for them intermediate level is not mandatory. Okay, and this election is direct election is happening there. The members of Panchayat at all the levels is directly elected by the people. Okay, and the chairpersons of intermediate level and district level is elected indirectly from among the members. So from among those members, the chairperson is elected at the intermediate and district level, and in case of village level, the election to chairperson is determined by the concerned state legislature. That is, state legislature can determine the manners in which the chairperson of the village level Panchayat Raj system, how he should be elected can be determined by the concerned state legislature. But regarding intermediate and district level, it is indirectly elected from among the members. That is, from among those members will elect a chairperson at intermediate and district level. But in the case of village level, the state legislature can determine the manners. Okay. Again, there is provision for reservation for SC/ST population. And this reservation, number of seats reserved, depends upon the proportion of their population. So based on this proportion to their population, reservation is applicable to SC/ST communities. Okay, and also regarding if a SC/ST person, reservation has to be given to chairmanship also, that can be determined by the concerned state legislature. See, only some provisions are mentioned under the Constitution through 73rd Amendment Act, and some powers are left to the discretion of state legislature. Okay, see here we know that regarding intermediate and district level, the chairperson is indirectly elected. That provision is mentioned under the 73rd Amendment Act. But regarding village level, that is left to state legislature. Fine. And regarding the reservation, the elected members, okay, regarding membership, reservation is given to SC/ST population based on the proportion of their population. That is mentioned under 73rd Amendment Act. Okay. But if the chairmanship regarding chairpersons, reservation has to be given to SC/ST population, that has to be determined by state legislature. Okay. Again, regarding reservation to women, 1/3 seats, not less than 1/3 seats are reserved to women. Again, regarding chairperson, there are number of chairpersons. Okay. In that number also, 1/3 seats are reserved to women. Not on these provisions. Regarding SC/ST reservation, it depends upon the population. But in case of women representation, not less than 1/3 seats are reserved to women. That provision please note down. Again, regarding reservation to backward class. Okay, this can be determined by the concerned state legislature. Because regarding reservation to backward class, there is no provision mentioned that. It left it to the power of state legislature. So only some provisions is mentioned under the 73rd Amendment Act regarding reservation or any other purposes, and some it left to the discretion of state legislature. So state legislature can determine how a backward class has to be given reservation. Okay, so please note down these differences. And the duration of panchayat is 5 years. It can also be dissolved earlier. See, at normal times, if the panchayat is going to expire, and before expiry, the new elections are held. Okay, if at some times, if the panchayat is dissolved, then the election has to be conducted within 6 months' time. But see, if the remainder period is less than 6 months, okay, say example, if the panchayat is dissolved after 4.5 years, normal term is 5 years. If see after 4.5 years is completed, then only the panchayat get dissolved. So the remainder period is what? Less than 6 months. At that time, it is not necessary to conduct fresh elections. I repeat once again, the normal term of panchayat is 5 years, right? And before the expiry of this 5 years, usually we conduct new elections. At sometimes, if the panchayat is subject to dissolution, then new elections has to be conducted within 6 months' time. Okay, but see if the panchayat is dissolved after 4.5 years. Okay, then remaining period is only less than 6 months. The remainder period is less than 6 months, the new election is not necessary to conduct. Why means a panchayat constituted after a newly constituted panchayat hold office for a remainder period only. See, after dissolution of a panchayat, a new panchayat is formed, it hold office for the remainder period only. Okay, if say example, if a panchayat is dissolved after 3 years, and the newly constituted panchayat hold office for the remaining period only. Why means in the state, okay, to maintain the uniformity of the term of panchayats across the state only, this provision is made. See, in a state there are many panchayats, right? If a panchayat is dissolved earlier, then that newly constituted panchayat can hold office for a remainder term of period only. That provision please note down. Okay. And regarding disqualification criteria, what all are the disqualification criteria? Disqualification of members. Regarding disqualification, what all disqualification criteria are there for the concerned state legislature? The disqualification criteria also applies to this members of panchayats also. One exception is the minimum age limit required is just 21 and not 25 as the case of legislative assembly and not 30 as the case of legislative council. Other disqualification criteria are same except this age criteria. That means if a person cross 21 years of age can contest for the panchayat elections. This exception also please note down. Okay. Because a statement can be asked, to contest for panchayat election, a person must need or must have crossed 25 years of age. Likewise, questions can be asked. No, regarding panchayat Raj election, the age limit is, the minimum age record is only 21. In case of legislative assembly 25, in case of legislative council it is 30. So please note down the age criteria also. Okay. And regarding the powers and functions, the state legislature, again the role of state legislature, the state legislature assigns the powers to panchayats. Okay, regarding socio-economic planning, all those things, the state legislature assigns powers and functions to those panchayat raj system. Okay, regarding finance also, state legislature provide the panchayats to collect, levy any taxes, or state legislature provide how the funds should be granted to grants given to panchayat from the consolidated fund of state. Okay, all these things regarding the financial position of the panchayat raj, it is determined by the concerned state legislature. Okay, again elections, the superintendence and powers and functions of election to the panchayat is with the State Election Commission. Okay, so the 73rd Amendment Act provide for to establish a State Election Commission. Okay, see the Election Commission of India conduct elections to Parliament, State Legislature, Office of President, Office of Vice President. Okay, so regarding election to Panchayat Raj or Panchayats, election is done by State Election Commission. Okay, it is appointed by the governor, but it can be removed in a manner how a High Court judge is removed. See, we learned how a judge of High Court is removed. In that procedure only, the State Election Commission can be removed. That is, how a judge of High Court is removed, in the same manner as a judge of High Court, how judge of Supreme Court is removed. In that manner only judge of High Court is removed. So in that manner only State Election Commission has to be removed. So grounds is proved misbehavior, incapacity, passed by both the houses of the Parliament by a special majority. In that manner only State Election Commission can be removed. And State Election Commission conducts elections to the Panchayat. Okay. Again, the governor constitute a State Finance Commission in every 5 years. Okay, the powers, functions of State Finance Commission is to, the principle should govern. That means it make the following recommendations to the governor. I repeat, see we have Finance Commission at the center. We will be learning that. Similarly, now we have under the provisions of 73rd Amendment Act, we have State Finance Commission also constituted by the governor. Okay, and it makes recommendations to the governor regarding the principles that should govern the distribution between state and panchayat. Distribution of finance between state and the panchayat. Some principles should be there. On what basis the funds can be devolved to panchayat? That will be recommended by whom? The Finance Commission. Or it determines determination of taxes, duties, tolls and fees that will be assigned to the panchayats. Or grants and aids. How the grant should be given to panchayat from the consolidated fund of states. Grants to panchayat from consolidated fund of states. On what basis the grant should be given to the panchayats? Or the measures needed to improve the financial position. On what measures the financial position of the panchayats can be improved? Or any other matter referred to by governor. So these are all the powers of or functions of State Finance Commission. I repeat that it shall recommend the principles that should govern how the financial resource should be distributed between center and between the state and the panchayats, and the measures how to improve the financial position or any other matters given to the governor of the concerned state. So that's the role of finance commission, and based on the recommendations the state legislature can provide, or okay, it depends upon, and the governor tables this recommendation before the houses of the concerned state legislature, and then they can take action regarding that. Okay, and auditing, again the state legislature can provide for an auditing mechanism. See, the powers of local self-government lies mostly with the state government. Okay, why means the local self-government as a subject is mentioned under state list only. It is a matter in state list. That is why the state legislature is given more powers regarding this local self-government. Okay, and this 73rd Amendment Act is applicable to union territories also, but it is directed by the President of India. Okay, and there are some areas which are not covered under the 73rd Amendment Act. Say example, some states like Nagaland, Meghalaya, or some scheduled areas, or some hill areas of Manipur, or Darjeeling district of West Bengal. Likewise, some areas of our country are not covered under this 73rd Amendment Act. But the Parliament may provide the provisions of this Act with some exceptions or with some modifications. The Parliament may provide for another form of local self-government mechanism. Okay, and based on that provision, the Parliament enacted an act called Provisions of the Panchayats, Provisions of the Panchayats, Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act. Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act 1996. It is also called PESA, PESA Act or Extension Act. See, as I said, the 73rd Amendment Act related to Panchayati Raj institutions is not applicable to some areas of our country, some scheduled areas or some hill areas, and some states like Nagaland, Meghalaya, etc. These provisions are not directly applicable to that states, but the Parliament can extend those provisions to that part also, with some exceptions or modifications. Okay, and based on that, Parliament come up with an act called Provisions of the Panchayat Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act. It is also called PESA Act or Extension Act. Okay, and we will learn some of the provisions of that PESA Act later. Okay, and also we can say that regarding election matters, the court cannot interfere. The court cannot interfere into the election matters of Panchayat. Regarding delimitation or regarding the demarcation of constituencies, everything, the court cannot interfere into it. That provision also please note down. So these are all the most important provisions regarding the 73rd Amendment Act. See, 73rd Amendment Act is very much important for us from prelims perspective, in mains perspective. In mains also we can quote these provisions in various GS papers, GS 1, 2, 3, 4, in ethics also, in essay, and many of the optional paper also you can mention these provisions. So this is very much important for us from exam perspective in all those exam, prelims, mains. In mains also, as I said, GS1, say GS1 Indian society you can quote, or in GS2 you can quote in governance, or in polity directly, or in social justice you can mention this act. Again in GS3 also provisions are the, topics are there in which you can mention the 73rd Amendment Act. In ethics paper, in essay paper also you can mention about these provisions. So by knowing these provisions, that is local self-government, bringing democracy at the grassroots level, you can score more marks. You can add more provisions.